Going for a 4-4-2.
He didn't know what was going on in the room.
Phyllis managed to refrain from swearing.
He said, if you've got a problem with me, let's sort it out in the gym.
He's exactly the same as our lot. The thing is,
Oh, I don't know what happened there. Are we on? I have no idea.
What?
Well, I don't know what happened there. Welcome back to West Ham United.
Going for a 4-4-2.
Is it gone? What happened there? Did you put that video back on?
I did go to put it back on, yeah.
All right, no, that's all right. Welcome to West Ham United. We are live for our match highlights and words. Sorry, that's just completely thrown me. Our highlights and words video, our review video. Whilst we are on, I'm just actually going to go and check and make sure that's all come through properly, because I have no idea what's happened there still. But anyway, yeah, welcome back to the channel. We've just witnessed West Ham beat Doncaster Rovers at home at the London Stadium 4-0. Convincing win still?
Walk in the park, as some people have said, really, isn't it? It was a very convincing win. I mean, you know, great to get the goal early on, which sort of set the tone of the game. But really professional performance, really good performance, solid. A lot of players played really well. Very happy. Very happy.
Absolutely.
I know people are going to say it's Doncaster, but it doesn't matter who it is.
Well,
still got to win this game.
It's the FA Cup as well, mate. And
Exactly.
At the end of the day, like, I know people always say it's lower league opposition, but when you play in a cup competition, especially a cup competition you want to win, especially with a history of being beaten by lower league clubs, to walk out quite convincingly 4-0 victors is definitely a good day at the office. That's 5 games in 2021, mate, and 5 games we've won. It's a good.
And Moyes has said that he wants to win the next 4 games in a row, so it's 3 out of 3.
3 out of 3.
And
yeah, absolutely, mate.
Well,
let's get on to the game and let's get on to the starting lineup. We saw that obviously we knew that Udbiku wasn't going to be available today, and we knew that there was no means that Antonio was going to start the game. So we saw not really a surprise when it was Yarmolenko was named in the starting lineup. I've not been able to put the image on a different thing there, so you can actually see that Yarmolenko started up top. We had Fabianski in goal, Fredericks, Balbuena and Diop hopefully hitting an old partnership there. Johnson playing at the left back position, Noble back in as captain, playing alongside Souček, Fornals, Lanzini, Benrahma and Yarmolenko. What was your thoughts on the starting lineup still?
Well, I put a quick video up earlier, and I was trying to get the team checked, and I got 2 wrong from that starting lineup. Can you put it back for a minute, mate?
Yep.
Is it that one?
Yep.
Yeah, I got 2 wrong from the starting lineup because I thought that potentially Rice was going to play, but it wasn't. It was Souček instead. And I thought that maybe someone like Fornals wouldn't have played as well. But other than that, I don't think it was actually that surprising that lineup started. I think it was to be expected. The whole back 4 was replaced. We know that the reason why Fabianski played is because Randolph had a knock, which is why he didn't make it. Otherwise, he would have played today. So I wasn't really surprised. I think Moyes has got to try and balance the lineups for the Premier League games as well as the Cup. And I think some may argue that maybe that wasn't our strongest team, but I think it was more than adequate for the game against Doncaster.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, you know I never done the preview last night, and thank you, Stel. You took over the preview, yourself and Nigel, and you had Aaron. It was Aaron on, the Doncaster fan. I think he absolutely sent the shitters right up you two, and I think initially you were feeling quite confident, but coming into this game, you probably felt a little bit like, oh no, what are we actually coming up against here?
I mean,
but fair play to Doncaster, though. I mean, Darren Moore has done a good job with Doncaster. They're performing really well in League One. They're unbeaten, I think, in the last 7 or 8 games. So, you know, they were coming into this game with confidence still.
Absolutely. The way Aaron spoke about Doncaster last night, and anyone that watched the preview will attest to it, he made myself and Nigel sit back thinking, I mean, Nigel turned around and said, "Well, you know what? Now I'm really looking forward to the game because it's going to be a proper cup game." Because he talked them up so much that we were thinking, "Wow, what?" It's difficult sometimes to stay abreast of Premier League teams, and their performances, let alone, League One teams, and the way he was talking about them seemed, as some people were saying in the watch along, we thought we were going to be playing Barcelona or Real Madrid today. But it's really, I don't know if it's because we got the early goal that really nullified them, or whether they didn't really seem to have a lot. I mean, I think they had maybe one or two shots on target throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
So it was, it did worry us a little bit because we were thinking.
Let's talk about the first goal. Myself and Cess were doing the match day live, and we were saying that we really want to put this game to bed early. We've said this several times over the last couple of weeks, and we've not been able to do that. But today we managed to get a goal in the minute and a half in, and that man stepped up Fornals, and it's going to do him the world of good, mate, to get on the score sheet, because it's not been struggling as of late. It's been struggling to get a goal, and it was a good, well taken goal. Fredericks attacked down the right hand side, crossed the ball in, and he hit it kind of on the half volley from the kind of penalty spot into the back of the net.
Took it off Ben Rama's feet.
Yeah, I know, and Ben, you can see Ben Rama's desperate.
It was a good goal. I think today gave Moyes the opportunity to push Ben Rama. Push Fornals more forward.
Yeah.
Which is why he got that goal. Because if that had been a Premier League game, I don't think Fornals would have been that far up in the opposition's penalty box, to be really honest with you.
Yeah.
So it was good to see that he scored, and really well taken goal. Fredericks, he has his critics, but another assist.
Yeah.
For
absolutely.
Ryan Fredericks, and he's a really good. There's some really healthy competition there for the right back slot. So, and he played well, but great goal for Fornals. He needed it. I think Lanzini and Benrahma need a goal each as well to really get their spirits up too. But yeah, very good, great start.
They do, and I think what we saw from Lanzini and Benrahma was just nice play in the middle of the park, dominating midfield. Opening space up for each other. They were playing 1-2s all over the place, and they were penetrating the Doncaster defence. Now, again, let's be reminded of the fact that we're playing Doncaster, but it is the FA Cup, and these players still need to turn up and do a job. And I tell you what, still, it was a different compared to, say, the likes of Stockport, because I thought Stockport gave a really good account for themselves in comparison to maybe what Doncaster did. But Lanzini and Benrahma really were kind of playing around and having good fun, and it was nice to see the confidence growing in the particular players. But when it came to the 32nd minute, we can't remotely deny what a fantastic ball played through, penetrated the defence from Benrahma to Yarmolenko, who stepped up, mate, and dinked the ball over the keeper. There's a couple of things you can talk about here, Benrahma and Yarmolenko.
Benrahma has done this a couple of times now, where he split the defence with some very, very clever balls. Rather than playing it out wide, building up the attack, really direct, but not, over the top, but sort of really direct and through. And he's done it a couple of times, and we didn't get any success before. But on this one, it paid off. What a great run by Yarmolenko, and what a great ball by Benrahma. Really, really nice link-up play. I agree with you that the link-up play we had today, they gave us a lot of space, Doncaster. Whereas Stockport, when we played Stockport, it's very much that blood and thunder type of, the pitch itself and the way that team played. They didn't afford us a lot of space. Whereas Doncaster gave us a little bit more space than I thought they would have done, which allowed us to play the way we did. And but Benrahma to find Yarmolenko, and then for that little dink. People have been saying, Yarmolenko should play up front. I kept saying, well, he doesn't play very well up front when he's on his own, and yet he's gone and proved me wrong as well.
Well, he does give us another option, though, there, doesn't he, still? There's no ifs or buts about it. He definitely gives West Ham, if there's a way to utilise Yarmolenko more than what he's being currently utilised, it's definitely going to be from that option. And you can see that he thrived upon the ability that Benrahma and Lanzini were showing. He was coming back into the midfield and doing a lot of link-up play. There was a lot of ticky-tacky football, and we do know, again, respecting the opposition, that you might not be able to do it as much against bigger teams, but there's nothing to say that West Ham can't try that or try and penetrate. Sometimes that's what's missing, I suppose you could say, is we're always relying heavily so much on Antonio being drawn into the game rather than putting those balls on a plate for these players, because a lot of Antonio's goals are hard-working goals, aren't they? And there's nothing kind of laid onto his feet. So when Benrahma gets an opportunity to penetrate the defence and put it on to Yarmolenko, I mean, it was absolutely bread and butter for Yarmolenko. That's the sort of stuff he loves. That's what he wants. Ball to his feet, dink over the keeper, and bang, we go 2-0 up. Half time came. Still, we didn't really see a threat from Doncaster. And we kind of knew we weren't going to make any subs at that point. But we thought, and I don't know what you thought, but if West Ham could come out and get an early goal, then we would see a fluctuation of substitutions.
Yeah.
But Doncaster, you know, they didn't. What was it about them? Do you think it was the occasion?
I don't really know. I think they gave us too much respect in a way. I think they, like I said a moment ago, they gave us a lot more space than I thought they would have. They were going to give us, and I think that the other difference is that, from what we understand, is they're a football playing team. They like to play their game. And I think maybe that helped us, because that means when a team normally plays game, that's quite a not hoofing it up, etc. I think that kind of gave us the confidence to be able to counter that quite well. I just think they weren't at the races today. They couldn't get many passes together. They couldn't, but I think that's because of the way we played. We dictated the game. We dictated the pace, and I don't think they could handle our attacking lineup. You know, we had basically 4 attack-minded players on the pitch, attack-minded midfielders, that they just who were doing all the ticky-tacky, the good pass and move. It was a pleasure to watch, to be honest with you. The likes of with Benrahma, Fornals, Lanzini, and Yarmolenko combining, and they couldn't handle it. They basically couldn't handle it.
No, you're right, mate. They really couldn't. It came into the second half, and one thing I wanted to say was, I think the number 10 for Doncaster, he was probably the only player I could see that had some shining light. I thought the odd time he was causing a little bit of concern down the wing where Fredericks was, but I think Fredericks did step up to the occasion and done really well in nullifying that threat. But then we got a corner in the second half. Mr. Mark Noble, the man himself, stepped up, took the corner, and you could say it was unfortunate for Doncaster, but he put the ball into the front post. The Doncaster player headed it and nipped it over the keeper, and the Doncaster player had no chance to clear it, and he kneed it into the back of the net. But what I'll say to you, Stella, is before that happened, in the first 7 minutes of the second half, before that corner came in and Doncaster conceded their third goal, I think the Doncaster keeper, I think his name's Balacombe, made about 5 or 6 consecutive very, very, very good saves, and he absolutely kept them in the game, didn't he?
Yeah, agreed. He's highly rated. He's on loan from Brentford.
Yeah.
And they think a lot of him. And I think he did keep the scoreline down. Otherwise, we could have gone into the second half, or early in the second half, in even a much healthier state than just 2-0. Yeah. Absolutely agree. But it was unfortunate. There's nothing he could have done with their third goal. It's a good cross in. I think it was nodded on, wasn't it?
It was. The Doncaster player actually headed it. It was actually going into the keeper's hands, and the Doncaster player just nipped off his head, went over the keeper, and landed on the Doncaster player's butler, and he needed it into his own goal. But like I said, it was unfortunate for the keeper at the time, because he had made a couple of fantastic saves. One in particular from a Benrahma free kick, very close, up and over the wall from about 20 yards out. Bottom left, keeper got over, saved it perfectly. Saved one from Yarmolenko. I think he saved another one from Fornals, and saved another one from the Yarmolenko one from distance, was when the ball kind of landed in air from about 20 yards out, and he kind of sliced it from outside of the box, and it was kind of lobbing over the keeper. The keeper had to get back and parry it out. So I thought he comes. He was in the shop at the transfer market. Hi guys, look at me. I'm here. I'm available potentially. I know he's on loan from Brentford, but they've potentially got a good second keeper there. Yeah. Anyway, what happened then was we were comfortable in the game. There was a little spell for Doncaster. I felt like they got hold of the ball. They went ahead and they hit the barmate. And it was just more of a kind of sloppy decision back there. I don't think we really could have nullified that threat. I think West Ham players and the Doncaster player all bashed into each other and all fell down, just left one of their players free, and he sliced it and hit the bar. But then Moyes stepped up, mate, and made quite a few substitutions.
He sure did. He sure did.
First one was young 18-year-old Afalian.
Yeah. Afalian.
Yeah.
Yep.
He came on for Thomas Souček.
He did indeed. And
he bagged himself a goal.
Which is why we're not buying any strikers in this transfer window. Yeah, he did. I mean, all credit to Moyes. I mean, you see what Moyes does, and I think if we'd have been 2 or 3-0 up against Stockport, you would have seen more of Odebeko. But what Moyes did was, he made sure we were safe, comfortable, and then he introduced the first youngster. And I'm so pleased that he's, not only is he, we've been saying it for some time, the best way for the youngsters to learn is to be in or around the senior squad. And if there's an opportunity to get on, then he should do it. And he did it with aplomb, didn't he?
Yeah, well, I tell you what, mate. I mean, Mark Noble collected the ball in our own half. He fed up the park to Fornals, who with one touch, and that was absolutely beautiful ball, laid it on a plate for, who was it crossed it in? It was Fredericks. And Fredericks went forward, and I think Yarmolenko and Afalian were kind of running in the park, but Fredericks took a shot, parried it off the keeper, and fair play to Afalian. I mean, he was 6 yards out, there was a player on him, and he just tapped it into the back of the net.
I mean, couldn't have fallen sweeter, could it really?
It couldn't have, but I tell you what, he's risen to the occasion in the big game, and he's gone, you know what, this is taking my chance, and scored the goal. And the thing is, when you kind of look at Afalian's game, what I loved about what he was doing was when he was collecting the ball, his head was up and he was looking in front of him rather than looking behind him, and not as if he was trying to get rid of the ball. He actually travelled forward with the ball. A couple of times he got it. He had enough time as well to make some impression, in my opinion, rather than 5 minutes sometimes that you get with these players.
That's what I liked about the fact that he was brought on, what was it, 70 odd minutes into the game?
Yeah.
It meant that he had an opportunity to show what he was capable of doing. The goal aside, you're absolutely right. He looked confident. I mean, that's another thing, Anton. I mean, when was the last time we could say West Ham have looked so composed? I think I've said that now for the last 3 or 4 games, where even this team that you would argue, most of them are kind of second choice, composed. And then the youngsters come on, equally as composed, and they fitted in. Afalian, he fitted in. It was like, it was seamless, and that really, really does bode well for the future, doesn't it, for West Ham?
It really does, mate. I think I said that as well, just coming on to the tail end of the Match Day Live. I said that if you think back to, it sometimes takes for the player that everyone's talking about to not play because of an unfortunate circumstances, for another player who no one's talking about, who doesn't have the pressure on him, to come in and at least give the club, push us on somewhere, etc. Now, I'm not going to get carried away with this. I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. And I really hope I wish I could get carried away with it. I wish we would see a lot more of the younger players.
Well,
but
know.
You always think back. I know I said it in the video before, but I think back to Marcus Rashford and Ashley Fletcher, because it should have been Ashley Fletcher that was given the shot, but he got injured. Marcus Rashford came in the team, and now we know Odebiko's not injured, and there's a lot of things going for him. But Afalian would have felt no pressure really today still.
Exactly. There was no pressure on him. He came on at the right time. Came on with, we're controlling the game. We're 3-0 up. And all he's got to do is go out there and play his game. And he did just that. And he got a bonus where he he scored a goal as well. And it is good to see. And you're absolutely right. Maybe, someone's one player's bad luck, misfortune, in terms of Odebeko being out because he's self-isolating, is another player's fortune. And maybe Afalian, I'm going to call him Afalian because I can't pronounce his name properly. Maybe that's what's happened here. He played last night in the under-23s, and the fact that he played, it was even more praiseworthy that Moyes decided to even put him on the bench. So,
well, when you look into his history as a player, he came from the Chelsea youth setup. He went abroad to Canada and played in the reserve team for Toronto FC. He came back and played in the lower leagues of England, and he scored a reasonable amount of goals. I brought the team up earlier on, I can't remember what it was, when he was signed by West Ham for an undisclosed fee. Now, he has, what I said during the match was that you can actually see that he's played at a competitive level above a reserve game, Premier League 2 game. You can actually see that he has played in a higher standard of game, because I actually felt like every time he collected the ball, it wasn't a huge amount of time, but it was enough to see that he's got ability and something there, and it's really, really nice to see. But he wasn't the only one. He got a goal, he made it 4-0, and I mean, I was more buzzing at the fact that he got the goal than anything else, and the fact then I looked over at the bench and Nathan Trott's warming up. Yeah. And I just said it to Cess about 15-20 minutes before it, and still, you've heard me go on about it week in and week out about how we don't give young players in goalkeeper positions opportunities, but clubs in Italy do it. There's players who are 23, 24-year-olds who have got 200 appearances under their belts. Yeah. But Nathan Trott warms up. It's just good to see. I know I think
it shows the level of confidence that Moyes has in some of these young players, which is good to finally see. The fact that, as I just mentioned, the fact that Afolayan played for the under-23s and yet Moyes decided he was good enough to put on the bench today. The fact that Nathan Trott actually got a game, got, what was it, 15 minutes game time, whatever
10,
it was.
It was about 10. No, it was actually under that, yeah, under 10.
Says an awful lot, because, we keep talking about we've got gaps in the team. We've got an old squad. I think we've got the second oldest squad in the Premier League. What's going to happen? We need to buy young players. We have this fixation that we need to buy our way out of the situation we're in. We don't have to buy our way out of it. If our youngsters are good enough, they're going to get game time. And I think the one thing that Moyes does, I do criticise Moyes, because sometimes, when he bought Bowen, it took him forever to bring on. When he bought Ben Rama in, it took him forever to bring on. And there's that criticism, but you gotta hold your hands up and go, well, he probably knows exactly when he says, I know when to bring the players in at the right time. Maybe he does, and he's got a history of doing it. And look at Nathan Trott and Afolayan and Baptiste, who came on even later. That means he has confidence in them. Otherwise, do you remember when we went to being able to have 9 subs on the bench? Yeah. And the first time he did it, he had 2 goalies on the bench, and no youngsters, and we criticised him for that. And now he's done it. Now, let's be honest, we're not going to see, we probably won't see any of these players on the bench against Palace. Let's be honest. You probably won't see Trott if Randolph is back from injury. You probably won't see Baptiste because he's got Diop and Balbuena, who's going to be on the bench. And you may see Afolayan, or you may see Odubeko come back.
Depends on it. It all depends on really Afolayan's the COVID thing, because he came back with a positive test and a negative test. So either way, we know he's got to isolate. We just don't know from what date that is. But I do think he may be on the cusp of potentially missing out, even from being travelling for the squad. So it might be Afolayan.
So
but
maybe
what?
Still gets his, another opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. We're through to the next round. It's one of either Manchester United or Liverpool next.
Well, question here, Garino. Who do you want next? I don't really care.
Don't really care, mate. No.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, though, still, it was, and that's what it was today. It was a performance. It was a good professional performance by West Ham. It was a kind of, when I look at today's victory, it was like it was a good day out at the office. We played well. It served the purpose it needed to do. We served Ben Rama and Lanzini. Got time. They got 90 minutes. They played well. They created opportunities. We tried something new with Yarmolenko up top. He got a goal. Fornals was creative today. The only thing that was maybe, Doncaster didn't bring anything enough to challenge our defence, so we never really got to see Diop or Balbuena tested today. But what's good is they got 90 minutes. They got a clean sheet. So it gives us another option. And we were saying it during the show, mate. I mean, we've been talking about centre-halves during the moment with Tarkowski, but now we've got Ogbonna, Dawson, who are holding Diop and Balbuena off on the bench. Can't get anywhere near the starting lineup. And we've got
Bo, you're absolutely right. Afolayan is 23, mate. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and we've got strength and depth there, in the defence, and that's definitely Afolayan is 40. That was his number.
We you know, Moyes is not. Moyes has said it. He's not going to buy anyone that he doesn't think is going to make the team stronger. And so we are going to have to. If we get any more injuries or people isolating, etc., we are going to have to look at the under 23s. And so best opportunity. Okay, they probably. You know, I know people have been saying that Moyes won't pick this team when we play either Liverpool or Man U in the next round, and Moyes, won't use youngsters in the next round either. Probably not. But the fact that they've actually got a little bit of a run out now, it might mean that one or two more of the under 23s will stay in the squad. To just get that feel, and if they're needed, then he can bring them in. So maybe things aren't as bad. I know we've got a thin squad, but if some of these youngsters can prove their worth, as Afolayan did today, who knows?
Who knows? Absolutely. I'm going to bring up some of the stats from the game still.
I've got them in front of me as well.
I've got them here as well, so you can see possession was 66%. West Ham to Doncaster's 33. West Ham had 20 shots on target to Doncaster's 20 shots to Doncaster's 4, 12 on target to Doncaster's 2, 4 off target to Doncaster's 2. West Ham had 4 block shots, Doncaster with none. We had 89% passing success rate, 3 clear-cut chances. There we go. Look at that interesting stat. We won 100% of all tackles.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. We won 52% of aerial duels. So yeah, just a good day out of the office, mate. And can't really complain with that. Stats, Nigel, that one's for you, mate. But listen, we wouldn't be a Highlights and Words review show if we didn't even remotely discuss a little bit of the stats. But yeah, I do bring them up purposely for you, mate. Oh, I think Aaron's in the house. Is he in the house? Let's have a look.
I don't know, is he?
Yeah, he is. There he is. That was embarrassing for Rovers. Well done to you guys, but we were awful and needs shaping up big time. Great to have previewed the game with you yesterday, though.
Thank you, mate. And you did put the shits up us yesterday, so I'm actually quite glad that we did better than because I changed my result, my prediction because of you last night, Aaron.
Well, Toby Sampson's got a whole new career for you, mate.
Career
hard
as
luck,
a
mate.
boxing
You've thought of a career as a boxing promoter.
Tell you what, he talks the talk.
Moby Dick is saying 4 games to win the FA Cup still.
Oh, don't start all that, Moby, mate. Come on. Just go one game at a time. The pubs will be you know what, Sharp Fitness? It's the one thing I said it last night. I actually joked with Nigel last night, are we going to get to a cup final and not be able to go? And we kind of talked, because there's been talk about what would happen if a team gets to a cup final, or what would happen if West Ham gets to the cup final. And there's talk about potentially that those who have fully paid up their season tickets will get first dibs.
Yeah, it wouldn't
and
happen.
I went to Nigel, well, first dibs after the bondholders and this and that, and the corporates and this and the other. And
it wouldn't happen. There's no way. I heard you saying that on the other day in the other show, and I highly doubt that would happen. It would cause absolute uproar.
It will, but it'll happen though.
No, I don't. It wouldn't go to the people who've paid up full. It definitely wouldn't.
It wouldn't go to the people that paid up full. I think it would.
I really don't. They've not got a history. They've not got a history of doing that. The only people that usually tend to get the tickets first are what you said is the bondholders, and then it would just. But when we're sitting here talking about something that's probably not going to happen, we're not going to be back in this. We're not going to be back in the stadiums in May, mate. I mean, the schools aren't even going to be back in May. So how are we going to get into a football match? It's absolutely mental. It's mental.
Arrived. There is the argument if we discover a player already at West Ham to back up Antonio, we won't buy a striker. There is that argument, but if they're good enough, mate, fair play. I think if we do discover a player that can do it, that can be a backup striker, I don't have a problem with it. We don't have to spend money to necessarily strengthen the squad. We were renowned to be the Academy of Football, and a lot of players came through the academy. So why not do that again? If they're good enough, why not? But I get your point, though, mate. I get your point.
I have been summoned, mate, because I can. I've heard the bell ring and my dinner is ready. So
the bell ring. What? You're...
I've been watching The Crown. What do
I keep saying, people? What do I keep saying?
What is he saying?
On, then.
Let's have a look. Hold on. Let's have a look and see what Nigel's saying. Maybe up in People's Republic of Jockland, but down here we'll be back in May. No, you won't be, Nigel.
Never know. You never know.
Maybe. Nah, it's just not happening, mate.
Yeah.
Anton has a butler.
It's called his wife. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, mate. Are you staying on to have a chat with everyone?
I can't, mate, because I've actually
Right.
got to do my show.
Ah! I'm under the thumb, My name's Stelios. Come on.
No, you are under the thumb. But
Yeah,
I've got
all right,
to
mate.
prepare my show
Yeah,
for tomorrow night.
I'll
So
send
there
you
you
over
go.
this.
There's
I'll
my-
send you over the script later on, mate. Okay.
Yeah, you do that, and I'll do what I usually do with it and put it in the bin.
Forever
So there you
football,
go.
Aaron, mate. We're not staying on for long, so we'll have you back on in the future, absolutely. But we're actually about to come off, so thank you very much for that. Yeah, listen, thank you very much for joining us. Stel will be back tomorrow for his West Ham Weekly, written by Anton and Matt. And then Monday night
You wish.
Matt and myself. Hopefully Matt will be back for the preview for Crystal Palace on Monday night, and then we'll be doing our Matchday Live for Crystal Palace on Tuesday. And literally right now the shows are never ending. It's non-stop, it's crazy, and just trying to arrange it left, right and centre sometimes takes its toll. So yeah, thanks to Stel and Nigel, who came out for a short-term loan back to West Ham United last night to do his show.
I think people preferred it. I think Nigel and I will just take over the previews from now on.
Mate, I'd happily let you take over the previews.
Yeah,
let's
like
see
you
what
did
happens.
last night.
Let's see what happens with your home life when you do that.
Yeah, no, won't be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, thank you for joining in. And yeah, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, keep the comments coming in, and join Stel tomorrow for his West Ham Weekly that he'll promote for 8:30 but not start till 9. Stel, come on, give everyone a realistic chance and time of what you're going to go at tomorrow.
I don't know, mate. That depends on how much of it I finish tonight.
Right.
If I can finish the whole script and get all the images ready, then I'll go on early. But if I don't, then it'll be late. But you know, people are used to me. I'll put it up for 8:30, and people are tuning at 9:15 when I'm just turned.
And he'll start for 15 minutes when he's muted microphone as well. So anyway, thanks for joining us.
Either way, whatever time I go on, join me tomorrow. There are loads of transfer stories again, but we're not buying anyone. So there you go.
There you go. He's been Stel, I've been Anton. This is West Ham United. Come on, you Irons.